planning, scheduling, executing, monitoring, and controlling. The various phases of a project are defined by project management. So in this video, I'm covering the topic of project management. My name is Salome Blessy. This is my YouTube channel for management studies. If you like my videos, you can show your support by clicking the like button and share with your friends and subscribe my channel. A project is a temporary in that it has a defined the beginning and ending in time, and therefore it defines the scope and resources of the project. A project is a unique one in that it is not routine operation, but it is in a specific set of operations designed to accomplish a singular goal. So a project team includes the people who doesn't usually work together. A project is an interrelated set of activities that has a defined starting and ending points, and those results in the unique product. For an example, the development of a software for improving the business process, constructing a bridge, dams, highways, or buildings, producing an aeroplanes, missiles, and launch missions, introducing a new product to this world, installing a large computer systems in an organizations, redesigning the layout of a plant or an offices, construction of a ship, fabrication of a steam boiler, and the maintenance of major equipment plants, and it's in a power plant and a factory, and conducting the national elections like this. These all are the examples of any project. Next, we look into the basic steps in project management. Managing a project, regardless of its size and complexity, requires identifying each activity to be undertaken and planned when each activity must begin and end in order to complete the overall project on time. Typically, all projects involve the following steps. The first step is describing the project. Project description is a formally written declaration of the project and its idea and context to explain the goal and objectives of a project. And the second one is developing a network model. For an example, in a company there is a need of a manpower. So the different department heads raise their manpower requirement to the HR department. The total requirement of a manpower is 1,000 plus. So HR department got the project. Further, they develop a network model. See here, based on the requirement, they want to do the different activities. Means they want to select the people, they want to train them, and they want to onboard them, and they want to they want to invite the applications. Okay, like this, they have the different activities. So here, based on the network model, what they do means they arrange all the jobs in a sequence by using the network diagram. So in the process of getting the manpower into the organization, the first activity is a recruitment. By doing the recruitment, we can able to pull the applications. But based on the applications, whatever we having, based on that we can select or shortlist the candidates. The candidates who are shortlisted, from them we can give the training. And once the core training was completed, then we can give the induction training. Once the induction training was done, we can segregate it or we can dispatch them to the core department. We can call them, it is an onboarding of an employees for the department. See here, for an HR department, they have a different activities for the project. So here, by using the network model, they construct all the activities in a sequence, means step by step. So based on this network model, the management or managers, they can able to get the idea about what the activities we want to do the first and what the thing we want to do the last. And the third step is inserting the time estimation. So here we have the different activities, just like any recruitment, selection, and training. For every project, there is any deadline for finishing that one. So for estimating the project time, here also by using this network model, and for that instructing the estimation of any time, we can able to know what's the finishing time of any project. Suppose for an example, for a recruitment activity, it will take the 1 week of any time, and for a selection process, it will take the 3 days of any time. But for any training, it takes the 1 month, and for induction training, it takes most probably 1 day or in 2 days, and then for onboarding the employees, it takes the 1 day. So based on this time estimation, the management have the clear-cut idea about the project activities and the time factor. And the fourth activity is in analyzing the model. So based on this network model, the management can able to know that they can go for this process, or they have any alternative way to finish that project. And the fifth one, they develop the project plan. So based on this, they can add something which they wants to need, and they wants to remove anything means they can do, and so based on that they can develop the project plan. And the sixth one is periodically assess the progress of the project, and they repeat the steps if they need as 2 to 6 or needed. Means here the managers, every time they observe the progress, if the progress is not in the positive way, they are getting the negative way, means again they will go for a second step, means developing of a network model to the sixth step. Okay, this is the total these are the 6 steps, or which are the following by the projects. Now we look into the meaning of any network. The network is any graphical representation of the project activities arranged in a logical sequence and depicting all the interrelationship among them. Now we know the words and terminologies we are going to use in network diagram. The first terminology is an activity. The activity means it's a work or a job, and it is a time consuming process. In the previous example, I taken the manpower, raising the manpower for different departments. So here for the getting the manpower into an organization, the HR department, the first activity they did the recruitment. For recruiting means the pulling the applications from different sources, it will take the 1 week of any time. This part we can call it as an activity. And the next terminology is an event. See, for every activity, they're having the starting point and then finishing point. We have the starting point, it's represent with an 1 for an example, and the ending point, it represent to the 2. This one we can call it as a node, the starting node and then ending node. This total, the starting point of an activity and ending point of an activity, we can call it as an event. For every activity, by using these nodes, we can construct. For the next step, we have any selection. It will start with an end point of any recruitment selection, and it end with a third one. This is the event. This is one event. This event we can did the activities called selection. So like this, we are going to construct the network diagram. This is an event. And next, third terminology is a critical path. The critical path is a longest sequence of an activity in a project plan, which must be completed on time for the project to complete on or before the due date. So here the critical path is a longest duration path, and the fourth one is a duration. The duration is the estimated or actual time required to complete the task or an activity. So from the starting to the ending, how much time it's just taking to complete the every activity. That is the duration. And the fifth one is a total project time. The total project time is a completion of an overall project time. And the fifth one is an earliest starting time. It is the earliest possible time, means it's a fastest time at which an activity can be started. This process will be calculated by the moving from the first to the last in the network diagram. And the last terminology is a latest starting time. It is the late possible time by which an activity can be started. So these are the 7 terminologies which we are using in the network diagram. Now we see what's the meaning of a network scheduling and its techniques. The biggest advantage in the project scheduling since the development of the Gantt chart in the year 1917, and it was made between the 1956 to 58. During this period, the 2 new scheduling techniques was developed. These techniques are PERT, Project Evaluation and Review Technique, and the Critical Path Method. The Project Evaluation and Review Technique it is an activity to understand the planning, arranging, scheduling, coordinating, and governing of any project. This program helps to understand the techniques of the study taken to complete the project. It identifies the least and minimum time is taken to complete the whole project. And the second technique is a critical path method. This method was developed in the 1950s. Is an algorithm needed for the planning, arranging, scheduling, coordinating, and governing of any project. The benefits of network scheduling are as follows. It provides a visual display of needed tasks and their temporal ordering, which makes it easy to see how the tasks should be sequenced. It assists the communication and cooperation among the task teams because of each team can see how its work affects another team. And the second benefit is it provides a relatively accurate estimate of the time required to complete the project at a proposed resource level. It identified and highlights the tasks that are critical to keep the project on schedule. It provides a method for evaluating the time, cost, and trade-off resulting from reallocating the resources among the tasks. It provides a method for monitoring the projects throughout its life cycle. As a project progresses, PERT and CPM easily identify the changes in which tasks are critical and how they expect the completion the date is affected. And it provides a convenient method for incorporating the uncertainty regarding the task time into the scheduling, and it helps to evaluate the effect of this uncertainty on projects completion time. These are the 6 benefits of network scheduling. One example problem which involves the constructing the network for a project, calculating the standard deviation and the mean and the critical path method. So consider the following table and summarize the details of a project. So if the table consists of an activity and the predecessors, optimistic time, most likely time, and the pessimistic time. You know what's the activity, and for the predecessors it indicates the activity that has been followed by which activity. Optimistic time, it indicates the shortest duration time to complete this overall project, and most likely time is an average time to complete this overall project. And the pessimistic time is a long time taken to complete this overall project. So here we want to get the normal time. So by calculating the mean, we can get the normal time. Based on that, we can able to go for any next steps. Okay, so based on this information, we want to in the first step we want to construct the network for this project. For constructing the network of this project, I am considering only the activities and predecessors. means the activity is followed by which activity. I am taking these two rows. Okay, by using these two rows, I am going to construct the network. See, this is the activity, A activity, B activity, C activities, like this we have from up to J. So these are activities are followed by these activities. So from D activity to J activity, the D activity was followed by A activity. E activity was followed by B activity. So like this we want to construct the network. For A, B, C activities, there is no following activity, means individually we can start that activity. See here, every activity we will start with an event. That event, they have the two things. First one is an starting one, it's represent as in a node, first node, and then second node, starting one and the ending one. This is an event, means starting and the ending point of an activity A. This is an event. So like this we'll construct the network for all activity. Okay, first we'll start with we have the A activity. For the A activity, there is no activity is followed. Now we'll start the constructing the network for this project. So first activity we are having A activity. So for activity we'll start with a first node, it's a 1, and it end with a second node. Yeah, this node, the total, this starting node and ending node is represents the one activity. That activity is an A activity. And next we having the B activity. For the B activity is also, they are not having precedence. So for that, for the first node itself, we are constructing the activity, the first node and then third node. For this, we are giving the activity name as an B. And next we are having the C activity. So C activity is also not following with any activity. So we are first starting with the first node, and then fourth one, we are giving the activity of an C. So here we have any first activity. Why we are linking with first node means there is no precedence, means following activity. We can start with the first one itself. So like this, for the first node I was constructing another one, I given the B and then C activity. Okay, like this we have started constructed for these three activities. And the next activity is a D activity. The D activity was followed by A activity. The A activity was ended with second node. Yeah, so this D activity wants to follow with an A activity. So from second node we will construct the network. It's an D activity. The next serial number is an fifth. Okay, for this one we can give the activity as an D. See, you are observed for the D activity, the preceded, the D activity was followed by an A activity. Okay, and the next activity is an E activity. This E activity wants to followed by an B activity. The B activity was ended with the third node. From third node we can construct one network. Okay, further we given the serial number as an 6, and further this activity is an E activity. And next we having the F activity. For F activity was following by the C activity. The C activity was here, and this was ended with a node of a 4. From fourth node we can construct one network, and this activity is an F activity. See, why I was linked this fourth node to sixth node means the F and E activity. In the further step, this E and F activity was linked with one H activity. So for that sake only I constructed like this. The constructing of a network is it's your own imagination. Based on your imagination, you can construct your network for any project. So I was constructing based on my imagination like this. So next we having the G activity. The G activity was followed by an C activity. The C activity we are having here. Yes, it was ended within a fourth node. So from fourth node we can construct the network. So there's a next is a serial number 16 was completed, the seventh one. This node was seventh one. This activity is any G activity. And the next one is any H activity. The H activity was followed by the E activity and F activity. The E and F activities are both linked to any sixth node. So from sixth node we can construct the network. So here I was constructing the network for like this. Y means again H and G was linked with any G activity. So here the E and F was preceders for any H activity. And next we having the I activity. The I activity was followed by D activity. This D activity was ended with an fifth node. So fifth node we can construct. The node is any eighth one. So here this activity name is any I. And the next we having the J. J activities was following by the H activity and then G activity. The H activity and the G activity was linked with any seventh node. From the seventh node we can construct the network. And this activity name is any J activity. So based on our own imagination, we can able to construct this network. Okay. Once you finish the constructing the network diagram, the next step is to calculate the mean and standard deviation. For the calculating the mean and standard deviation, we need the optimistic time, most likely time, and the pessimistic time. These time values are in the question itself. Here, the optimistic time is denoted as an T0, the most likely time denoted as an Tm, the pessimistic time denoted as an Tp. The formula for the mean is an T0 plus 4 into Tm plus Tp divided by 6. And for standard deviation formula is an Tp, means it's a pessimistic time divided by optimistic time and the whole divided by 6 and the square will get the standard deviation. So now we'll calculate the mean for any each activities. So here we have the T0 5 and the Tm 6. So according to the formula 6 into 4 and the plus 7 divided by 6 will get the value as an 6. The mean for an A activity is an 6 hours. And the next we have an B activity. For B activity we get the mean like 3. For C activity 4. For D activity 2. For E activity 3. For F activity 5. For G activity mean is an 3. And H activity the mean is in 5. And I activity 5. J activity the mean is in 3. So like this we got the mean. Means it indicates the hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 2. Okay. And next now we want to calculate the standard deviation for all activities. So Tp pessimistic time divided by optimistic time whole divided by 6 square whole square. So here for A activity we'll get the 0.11. For B activity 0.44. For C activity 1.00. For D activity 0.11. For E activity 0.78. For F activity 0.78. G 1.00. H 1.00. And I 1.00. For J 1.00. So like this we got the mean values and then standard deviation value. Okay, in the third step what we are going to do means we are considering the activities and then mean. Okay, by taking these two columns itself we are doing the third step. So here we are taking activities and then mean, means 6 hours, 3 hours like this. This is the network diagram which we constructed in the first step itself. Okay, so here what we are doing means we are assigning the mean values to the activities. See here we having the A activity. For the A activity it takes the 6 hours of any time. For any B activity it takes the 3 hours of any time. For the C activity it takes the 4 hours of any time. and for D activity it takes the 2 hours of any time, and for the E activity it takes the 3 hours of any time. Okay, for F activity it takes 5 hours, and for G activity it takes 3 hours, and for H activity it takes 5 hours, and for I activity it takes the 5 hours, and for the last J activity it takes the 3 hours. Like this we'll arrange the mean values to all the activity. Okay, in the next step is a fourth step. In the fourth step, what we are going to do means we are constructing the next critical path method. We are going to know the critical path method. For knowing the critical path method, we want to know the earliest starting time and then earliest finishing time. Starting time and then finishing time. And the late starting time and the late finishing time. Okay, so earliest starting time and the late finishing time. So for that, say for knowing these 4 factors, we are taking the 2 columns in every node. Okay, so like this we want to take 2 columns in each node. So this is a earliest starting time, like it. And then if you're coming backwards means it's in a late starting time and then late finishing time. Okay, for calculating this time factor we are taking the 2 columns. So here the first what we do means we will start from first to last. Okay, first frontwards to last one we'll start, and next will come from the backward. First frontward and then next backward. While you are going in the frontward in the straightway direction, we will place that values on the first column. Okay, first column. While we are coming backwards means we will place that values in the second column. Okay, now we'll calculate the time and then we'll place the time factor in the column. First we are going from first to last, so we are using the first column itself. See, every activity it starts with any 0 seconds. Yeah, so here in the first column I was placing as any 0. So here the first node to second node for any E activity it's taking the 6 hours of any time. So here for completing of this activity it takes a time of 0 plus 6 as any 6. And for any B activity also it was started with any 0 seconds. So for 0 to 3 hours of in time it takes a completion of in time as any 3 hours. For any fourth activity it is also started with any 0 seconds, and for the process time is any 4 hours. 0 plus 4 it's any 4 hours. Yeah, and next we having the D activity. D activity it takes the 2 hours of any time. This D activity was following by the A activity. So here we given the link with any second node. This node too we are given the link. For that sake we are calculating the 6 plus 2 means we'll get the 8. Okay, and here for the next is any 6th node. For the 6th node the 2 arrow marks are showing to the 1 node. It's representing the 1 node. The third activity and the fourth activity, these 2 events are going to end with any 6th node. So for 6th node, for calculating the time, here we are taking the maximum time. If we add 3 plus 6, we'll get the 6 hours. If we add the 4 plus 5, we'll get the 9 hours. From these 2 times, we are taking the maximum one. It's a maximum is any 9 hours. So I was placing the 9th hour. And next is any 7th node. The 7th node is also representing by 2 arrow marks. Means it's from 6th one and from 4th node to 7th node 1. So here also we having the 2 time values. So here if you add 9 plus 5 we'll get the 14. and 4 plus 3 will get the 7. 14 plus 14 here and 17 here. So if you see the maximum one is any 14. So we are taking the maximum, so I was placing as in a 14. And the next here, for the 8th node, here also 2 arrow marks was indicating to the 1 node, the 8th node. So here also, if you calculate the 8 plus 5, 13, we'll get the 13 hours, and then 14 plus 3, we'll get the 17 hours. The maximum one is in 17 hours, so we are taking the 70. So here we are started the earlier and then we are finished the earlier. The time is only 17 hours. So now what we want to do is we want to come from back to front. Backward we want to start. So here it's indicated as a late starting time. So here if a late starting means if a 17th hour we will start means we are going to calculate in the backward. For any 7th node, we want by going the first frontwards to backward, we did adding. Now what we are doing means we are doing the subtracting. Backward to frontward, we are doing the subtracting. We have the 17th last starting time, and for 7th node we have the 14. So here if is 17 minus 3 means we'll get the 40. And next we having the 6th node. For the 6th node here, if you subtract this 14 with an 5 means we'll get the 9. 14 minus 5 means we'll get the 9. And next we having the 5th node. For the 5th node, if you subtract this 17 minus 5 means we'll get the 12. And next we having the 14th node. This 14th node was representing by 2 arrows. So here what we'll do means we'll calculate with 9 minus 5 we'll get the 4, and 14 minus 3 will get the 11. So here we will taking the minimum one. While going frontward to backward, we taking the maximum one. While coming the backward to front, we are taking the minimum. So here this arrow mark was represented by 1. This was 1. So here 9 minus 5. Subtract means you will get the 4. And next 14 minus 3 means you will get the 11. So here you want to consider the minimum one. So I was taking the 4. And next we having the 3. So 9 minus 3 will get the 6. And next we having the second. No, here the 12 we are having, and 12 minus 2 will get the 10. And the final we have any last first node. So here this first node was representing the 3 arrows from. One is representing second node, one is representing third node, and one is representing the fourth node. So here if a 10 minus 6 means we'll get the 4 hours, and 6 minus 3 means we'll get the 3 hours, and next 4 minus 4 means we'll get the 0 hours. Okay, so here we want to take the minimum one now. So here 430, the minimum value is any 0. So here I was placing the 0. If you observe means the starting node was started and ended within a 0 seconds, and the last 8th node is also ended within a 17 hours. This way we can able to calculate that time. So here you can observe means here the first node is in a 0, and the 4th node is in a 4, and the 6th node is in a 9, and the 7th node is in a 14 hours, and the 14 hours, and 17th hour is in a 14 hour, and the 14 hour. So this is the critical path for this project. Okay, like this we'll construct the network, and we will find the mean and standard deviation, and then finally we will know the critical path for any projects. Okay, this is the overview of the project management. I hope guys you got the nice inputs on this topic. Thank you for watching my video.